Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm a licensed contractor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. My company is A Better Deal, Heating and Air, Plumbing, Electric, and Appliance. One of the biggest things that we have trouble with is condensation. We'll have ceilings turning into floors on a regular basis, and I'm sure as contractors and other people out there, homeowners, will really benefit from the little bit of information that we want to talk about today. And what we're talking about is those nuisance leaks from the condensation drains from air conditioners. An air conditioner can produce several gallons of water per hour, and it has to be disposed of. In most municipalities, you have to dispose of it into a sanitary drain, but the problem is the blockages. There are bacteria and fungal materials and materials from the coil itself and just dirt and dust from the house. They can block up the line. And most contractors out there will recognize that this is a regular issue this time of year when we have a high humidity in the air and we've got a lot of run time on the air conditioners. We're making a lot of water. So the International Mechanical Code now requires that we have a means of cleaning and servicing drains without having to cut the line. This is important because generally when you're having to go up and take all the materials up there to cut the line, re-glue the line, as well as blow it out and some means of stopping up the line and creating back pressure, it's a lot of work and it isn't really a lot of value. So instead, now you'll have to configure the drain so they can be serviced. This means a big benefit to the homeowner because instead of just waiting for it to block up, even if they have a maintenance done, now it can be proactively cleaned. So with the advent of this new code in 2015, you will have to configure the drains so that they can be cleaned and serviced without having to cut the line. This is really important. So there's different ways to do it. You can just configure the line so that you can use a drain dog and blow it one way and then the other. Or you can use one of these products, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We'll go ahead and start with the All Access. This is a new product that just showed up on the market pretty recently, and the way it's configured, you've got a little door on top and a little valve. So when you push air through the top, pushes the valve down and it allows air to only go in this direction. And then when you want to go in the other direction to clear it back toward the coil, let's say, you have to remove this flapper and then insert this tool into the opening and apply your pressure tool here and blow back the other way. So it's a little awkward, and the one thing that I see as being a problem is if you've got water backed up on this side on the coil and you've pushed through all this, as soon as you open the door, it's going to come flooding out. Let's say you've got 2 gallons stored in the coil and it's all going to be coming in here. It's kind of awkward. I'm not sure what they have in mind there. So for me, this one's a little more than I want to get involved in. And then we have another tool called AC Easy T. And what this one does is it basically connects right at the coil. And then the way that they show the drawings, you would maybe have another one coming in another direction like this so that you can take this cap off and then insert one of these tools. So you have 2 tools, they screw together, and essentially you buy the tool package separately. So you buy the Easy Tees, and then the tools is a separate package, so you have to have your tools with you. So if you run across these, you know that you need to go to the store and buy these tools. But essentially, putting it directly through, you can blow through that way, and then you use the other tool attached, and it's got a hole on one side, and it allows you to blow up through the T. So you can process high pressure through either directly this way or through this way. So if, let's say we were to set this on the coil in this setup, or maybe this setup, and we're cleaning in this direction and this direction, we'd be able to clean the line. Now again, the only downside here is that if you're anywhere below the coil, this is going to be full of water, and when you take the cap off, it's going to flood out. That's a bit of a problem unless you have a good means of catching the water. The other issue is, even if you're connected directly to the coil and there's a large amount of backup on the other side of the coil, you'll still flood out as soon as you take the cap off. So I haven't figured out a good way to use this one yet where it doesn't flood, but so it makes it a little more difficult to make it the one, but I guess it will meet the needs of the new requirement. And then we've got this one from RectorSeal. The guys at RectorSeal are usually pretty good at this stuff. So essentially it's a T, and what it does is the body of the T moves and allows you to push air in just one direction. See, it's blocked off on this side, and then rotate it and go in the other direction. And there's a a lock nut so that you can make sure it doesn't get closed by accident, and there's a little seat where it pushes into. Then you lock this down and it keeps it from moving around so that you don't inadvertently wind up having the line blocked off by the device. The only problem with this one though is the clearance around this casing on the T isn't airtight. So you won't get full pressure going through the line, but the biggest problem is it's not watertight. So if you were to set this down low, if your coil's up here and this is down low for clearing the lines, you would likely have a leak. So this has to be no lower than the pan itself. It has to, if this is the pan, it can't be any lower than the pan. It has to be up high, because in this point it has to be higher than any water can get to, like a riser. Otherwise, it could leak. So that's a concern there, but the idea there is this piece allows you to push air down this way and either go in one direction or the other. So again, the leak issue is a little more than I want to get involved in. I want to be able to have my clean out device wherever I want it. So that one's kind of a, not exactly the best idea. Now this one's pretty cool. This one's called the Quick Blast, and it's basically a ball valve. It's very straightforward. You close the ball valve and then inject using these Schrader valves, these Schrader ports, using your regular hose. You can hook onto these and blow through, downstream, upstream, and it's a good isolating valve. It does a good job. I've used a bunch of these myself. I think these are a good product, and they definitely meet the intention of being able to service the lines without having to cut the line. Only problem with this one is it's a little bit big. So there's some places where it can be a little hard to get into, and but overall, good tool. It'll definitely do the job for you. And then lastly, we've got the Jones valve, and this one, it's like the Quick Blast, but it's a bit smaller, and it uses a novel approach. So instead of having two Schraders, there's just a single Schrader, so you only have to hook up your hose one time. And you can see that there's a hole right here in the ball. So the air passes through the middle of the ball and then out in one direction only, because there's no hole on the other side. Then turning it 180 degrees will allow you to clear the downstream side. And then when you park it, it parks with the hole in the ball away from the Schrader so it can't leak. So for the compact size and ease of use, this one is my preference. And being able to clean the lines and actually service the line, and as a contractor, the added benefit of being able to increase the value of what I'm offering my customer is, I think, the biggest value. So instead of charging, say, $90 to just go and cut the line and clean it and put it back together, we charge a bit more for these, and then we offer a discount for when we just need to come back and clean only. So the customers are happier. They understand that there's value in having this installed, because in the future it won't cost more to do the work. And that concludes our talk today on servicing and cleaning drain lines to meet the new requirement in the Uniform Mechanical Code and the International Mechanical Code. I think this will make a big difference for most homeowners and for most contractors. So I want to thank you for listening today, and have a great day.